Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday, starting around 1 p.m., going throughout the afternoon and covering a wide range of topics. Today, though, we are talking about coyotes, in particular, Coyote-palooza. What is that? We're going to find out here coming up on this show, and that is because we are joined right now by Zuriel and Belle from the Portland Urban Coyote Project, and thanks for being here with us today. I mean, just the name alone, Coyote-palooza, does bring a lot of intrigue as far as determining what that is, and it's a really great event that's going on, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, I was hoping we'd find out a little bit more about the Portland Urban Coyote Project and what that is.
Thank you. Yeah, so the Portland Urban Coyote Project is a community science project that was actually started in Portland State University's geography department over 10 years ago. And people all over Portland report their coyote sightings to us. And what we try to do is understand more about coyotes and about the people that are interacting with them through those reports, and provide information about how to live well with coyotes. One of the things we've been saying a lot more lately is coyotes live here. Sometimes people don't know that, but they really have made a fantastic living all over the Portland metro area. And so our project really serves to both provide information about the population of coyotes living here and also learn more about them from everyone who encounters them.
Interesting. Yeah, you do. I mean, I feel like I've seen more coyotes as in the last few years than before. Maybe that's just coincidence, but have you noticed, has the population increased in the metro area?
It's a great question. It's not one that I can completely confidently answer, but our best guess is that the population is relatively stable at this point. So coyotes started really popping up in the urban areas of the Portland metro around the 1980s, and they're territorial. They can only sort of live off of, only so many can live off of the resources available. And so the population at this point is probably similar to what it's been for the past, at least the length of our project. But there are neighborhoods that will get increase in sightings because of the behavior of a coyote or the coyotes there, maybe changes in that neighborhood, or even a larger litter or larger population, but that's typically pretty temporary. So yeah, our best guess is that we've probably kind of reached the number of coyotes that we have in this area, and now they just sort of fluctuate in a more minor way.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's great because you have all of that data as well, too, as you mentioned, from this project. And I've got a bunch more questions, but let's transition into this because I think this may answer a lot of those. Coyote-palooza. Can you tell us what that is?
Yes, yeah. So this is our second year of Coyote-palooza, and really what it is a street fair style event right next to the PSU Farmers Market. So it's happening just for one day. It's happening this Saturday on May 31st from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the idea here is that it's a bunch of partners from all over the Portland area. So some of our key organizing partners are Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, the Portland Urban Coyote Project, Bird Alliance of Oregon, Humane World for Animals, Feral Cat Coalition of Oregon, and many, many others. And sort of everybody comes down. We all set up lots of different booths where you can learn about different aspects of living with coyotes, and hopefully also share your coyote stories, get your coyote questions answered, and of course have fun as well. We have to live up to the palooza part of the name. So we do have activities for kids and for families, for adults, and we also have some fun prizes that we will be giving out and that sort of thing.
Nice. So that really is covering a lot of different bases when it comes to coyotes as far as informational. And I know, one of those is even learning about the cultural aspects of the coyote as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, we have the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde there to talk about the sort of long-standing history of coyotes and significance of coyotes in those cultural traditions. And we'll also have things like, some fun activities like creating a coyote crown and bedazzling that for kids. And so we can, and we also have like a photo opportunity where you can put your own face into the coyote's face and take photos. So we're trying to really have activities for a broad spectrum of people. Really, anybody that lives in Portland has coyotes as their neighbors. So we would love to invite everybody to come down and sort of find what interests them the most.
It sounds like a lot of interest and a lot of maybe demystifying some of the ideas that people may have about coyotes, good or bad, associated with that is what I'm kind of gathering there, just getting a lot of information out. And to that extent, for a lot of people, or some people anyway, coyotes could be scary. Is that something that you think, people should be wary of if you see a coyote in the urban area?
It's a great question. So, yeah, we love to emphasize that it's totally normal to see a coyote in an urban area. They do live here. But there are behaviors that we don't want to see as often from coyotes. And that's really at the heart of why we're having Coyote-palooza is all of these organizations. We've all come together kind of to share the same message, which is really like whether you love coyotes or you hate coyotes or you don't really care about coyotes, the advice from all these organizations is the same. Coyotes don't pose a major risk to people. They are not responsible for any kind of like even across the country and in Canada, we see nips and scratches as like the main kind of issues coyotes cause, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things to watch out for. One of those things is watching out for your pets. And so we do have kind of this core message that we hope comes through at all of the kind of activities and booths at Coyote-palooza, which is just to never feed coyotes and to remove potential food sources, because that can make them get a lot more comfortable around people. And if they're more comfortable around people, it's just more likely that things can happen, usually putting the coyote potentially at more risk than the person. But it's best to help them stay wild, even in the city. We also encourage people to protect their pets. So keeping pets inside, keeping them on short leashes, keeping them supervised. And we have a lot of different booths at Coyote-palooza where we talk about the ways you can do that and how to get creative, including a full-size like cat patio enclosure that you can check out and kind of see it in real life and picture your own little cat in there. The other thing we really want people to understand is they should scare off a bold coyote. So if a coyote is looking pretty confident in your neighborhood, it's not that it shouldn't be there. It absolutely does live there, but having a nice natural wariness of people is a good sign. That means the coyote is finding natural food sources that, rodents, the things it typically would eat, and it's not investigating human areas or being really close to human dwellings. So we will have a lot of activities and information about hazing coyotes, which is just what we say to mean scaring them away. So we have things like an upcycled like DIY hazing rattle. So we'll have materials donated by scrap where you can put together in like a metal can some loud things to shake and scare off a coyote. We'll talk about whistles and other deterrents like that. And so those are kind of our biggest, our three main kind of takeaways are to never feed coyotes, protect pets, and scare off bold coyotes. And then the kind of bonus important element of this coalition of partners coming together for Coyote-palooza is that sharing the message is really important, because it really does take the whole community to come together and do the same things when they see coyotes. So coyotes stay good neighbors and learn, I know what I'm going to get when I see people, and I'll mind my own business.
Right, that consistency every time. So they're gonna be like, I don't want to go mess with this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick to your side of the street, kind of thing. Well,
exactly.
what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about coyotes in the Portland metro area?
I think that one of the biggest ones that I've heard is that they are really, so it's really important to protect your pets. And that, of course, like cats and coyotes do come into conflict, and coyotes will kill cats. But I think people think coyotes are responsible for a lot more cat death than they may be. Cats are at risk from a lot of things when they're outdoors, and coyotes don't typically go toward cats as a main food source. So while it is true that you should protect your cats from coyotes, their reputation as an animal that is like living off of cats is very unlikely. And in most studies that we've seen from other places, coyotes are mostly living off of what you'd probably expect, which is rodents. So yeah, that's one. And then one other that I hear a lot is just the size of a coyote. And again, I think about their diet, which is small rodents typically, and that helps give you a hint of the size that they are, which isn't very large. So they're, they hover around 25 to 40 pounds, but really on a lot of times on the lower end of that. I say like a medium to small border collie, if you're familiar with dogs. This is a relatively slight animal, and we do hear from a lot of people that they saw a coyote as big as a German Shepherd or as big as a wolf. And I think, that's just not how big coyotes are, but in the city, when you're not expecting it, they do have quite an impact. And so I think it's easy to overestimate their size.
And that, comes down to that education side of things, as you mentioned, telling your neighbors, sharing the information, and going to Coyote-palooza, it sounds like, where you can learn about all of this, all in one place. Well, for everybody out there, let me ask you this too. Is there anything else that you think is really important for people to know about Coyote-palooza?
I think the last thing I'd say is just it is really fun. You can kind of choose your own adventure, and there will be the opportunity to talk to researchers and wildlife biologists and get some specific questions answered if you want, or if you don't know a thing about it, you're also welcome to come down and really discover all kinds of things. And as a little prelude to that event, this evening at 6 p.m., we're having a virtual presentation. It's hosted by Bird Alliance of Oregon, where we'll have Dr. Stanley Gert from Chicago talk about his research on coyotes. And so if you're interested in urban coyote ecology specifically, he is the top researcher in this field. He's been doing a study that's older than 20 years now. So if you have questions about what coyotes eat, how they're using the landscape, et cetera, it all takes place in Chicago. So grain of salt here, but it will be a really fantastic presentation as a little like appetizer to the main event on Saturday.
Nice. Well, for everybody out there, how can they, find out more information about that, about Portland Urban Coyote Project, and also the Coyote-palooza event coming up?
Thank you. Yes. So they can find our project, the Portland Urban Coyote Project, on Instagram and Facebook at Portland Coyote. And both of those accounts have links to all of these things. You can also go right to our website, which is portlandcoyote.com. Right on the main page, there's a place to click through for Coyote-palooza, or you can go straight there at portlandcoyote.com/Coyote-palooza. And you can also find the event this evening on the Bird Alliance website, and it's a free event. You don't need to sign up or anything. You can just click right into the Zoom event, and we will have a recording we'll be posting after, and that'll also be on our website and on social media.
Lots of places to go there to check it out. Coyote-palooza coming up this weekend for people to go there as well. Well, Zuriel, thank you very much for joining us today. Really good information, finding out a lot more, and have a great event.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you there.
Yeah. And thanks to everybody for joining us too. This is Fox 12 Now. We are live streaming here. We go throughout the afternoon. We need to take a break. So more coming up. Don't forget to download the Fox 12 Oregon app. You can watch all of our segments and share these segments as well, like this one, and let other people know about it. But we'll take a break. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.